So then we are back with more understandings from the Renewed Covenant from the Aramaic English translation of the Scriptures. There are many other areas where a person can explore, but so many lies are being found in the regular Bibles that a person can truly and safely simply shut these false copies and throw them in the garbage. That's where they belong. Another area, very interestingly, a person can learn is from Metitiahu when regarding the situation with the camel. It was an absolutely made up junk. And the Savior never spoke of a camel going through a very tiny space from the city. Unheard of. Absolutely made it up. First, then the Savior himself, he always came with a plan of the city being then closed. He would never teach any areas related with then a tiny space where people would go through the camp. That's absolutely ridiculously made it up. So then when you read the understanding regarding the soul named the camel, it was absolutely made it up. The understanding you'd find nearly the 20th chapter of Metitiahu. It is a chapter before it, in fact, and then you can read it for yourself. But what he said, back in those days, they would use heavy rope, and then obviously they would use utensils to do then the sewing. What he was trying to say was this: it is easier for then a heavy rope going through the eye of then the utensil being used for the sewing, when then riches are then unweaved from the midst of the strands. This is what the Messiah was speaking of. What he was trying to say in layers, because Hebraic understanding always in layers, was the fact of the whole rope, when it is stranded, is very thick. Then it goes through the eye. But then if you have riches in the midst of the strands, as you try then to put it through, it doesn't go through. When he was then layering the understanding with the heaven and what it takes for a person then to enter it, it would have to give the acknowledgement of the rich people. First, then the riches came from the Creator Yahweh, and they must recognize and disperse the riches as such, and not being bound by then these treasures of riches in this condemned earth. If you try then to put the heavy thread through the eye, and simply does not go through because the riches are in the midst of the strands. This is the understanding of it. So there is no such situation of camels being loaded, or then it goes through the side of the gate, or some sort of a secret entrance through then the city. It's absolutely ridiculous. From a Hebraic understanding, they were always thinking of the camp as being holy and shut. There is no such places or place. This is what he meant. So then when you read the understanding from Metitiahu, then you begin to be a person that begins then to search the Hebraic understanding. In another time, people were lied. There is no camel, no special entrance, absolutely none of it. And please stay tuned, much more coming up.